It's been over 20 years since the first Tekken game hit the PlayStation back in '95 as a response to Sega's then really popular Virtua Fighter games. Over the years, though, the Tekken games have become deeper, more refined, and they've set themselves apart from the '90s fighting game cliches and accumulated an impressively large and diverse character roster. The franchise has largely remained dormant since the release of Tekken Tag 2 in 2011. However, now that Tekken 7 is here, it seems to have the task of walking the tightrope between adapting to the new norms of fighting games and delivering an authentic Tekken experience, which thankfully it does really well. Needless to say, Tekken 7 overall is a fantastic Tekken game. The fighting is as smooth and swift as it's ever been. The environments are vivid and varied. Yoshimitsu lives up to his bizarre legacy with another otherworldly iteration, and character customization options are at an all-time high with tons of stuff to choose from. And all of this is punctuated really nicely with an enormous library of artifacts from the previous games that can be purchased with in-game fight money, which is pretty neat, and this illustrates Namco's affection for the series. The fighting itself has gotten maybe its most notable change in Tekken history, probably inspired by NetherRealm's recent Injustice and Mortal Kombat games, with the addition of Rage Art and Rage Drive moves that require timing and precision to deliver high damage attacks that can turn the tables in a fight if used correctly. By taking another page from NetherRealm's book, Tekken 7 has a fun story mode that lets you play several different characters as the Mishima blood feud continues to escalate. This mode is equally great for newcomers getting familiar with the roster and veterans dusting off their skills from potentially years ago. Tekken 7's campaign is noticeably shorter than campaigns from other modern fighting games that it's probably inspired by, and it doesn't really pay much attention to characters outside of the Mishima family. But this is mostly made up for with the extra isolated episodes that you can play outside of the main campaign, which put you in the shoes of one character at a time for one fight at a time. And these all have ending movies like the older games, which can range anywhere from deep and meaningful to genuinely hilarious and ridiculous.
That imbecile needs to be retrained.
Another way to spend time in Tekken 7 is the treasure battles, which put you up against opponent after opponent, survivor style, as you earn items and customizations for your characters and other superficial online appearances. This is a great way to rank up and earn trophies and achievements too. Now, as high as these notes are, and as much as I enjoy the new twists and turns, there are a handful of surprising omissions from Tekken 7 that left me feeling a little baffled. For instance, there's no beat-em-up adventure mode like most of the previous games had. Granted, these modes were never the reason people bought Tekken games, but they were a nice distraction, and they definitely added a lot of replay value for me. Also, a couple basic characters, including Lei Wulong, are just completely missing. He's not there, which really rubbed me the wrong way because he's been one of my mains since Tekken 2, and he's always been available since then, as far as I can remember. The biggest and most bothersome omission from offline play for me is the lack of team battle mode, which as far as I can tell has always been in the series since Tekken 3 when it was introduced. This was a great tournament-style mode for friends playing together in the same room, and its exclusion makes offline play feel emptier than most Tekken games, which is a shame because Tekken 7's gameplay is truly great, and it could have been a lot of fun to see how team battles would have played out with the new Rage Art and Rage Drive moves being a part of them. Survival mode is also gone, but Treasure Battle kinda scratches that same itch, so we can probably let that one slide. As far as online goes, the PS4 was pretty buggy at first, but there have been some patches and it's mostly working good now. Lagging is very minimal, and the online tournament modes are an interesting diversion if you really want to test yourself. So far, I have yet to win a tournament, but I've gotten close, so it is a lot of fun. Tekken 7 has far more working in its favor than it doesn't. I'd be shocked if Namco ever released a Tekken game that was less than good. Even still, the lack of some long-time basic characters and the unnecessarily truncated offline mode do keep it from being the ultimate Tekken game that I feel like it should have been. The new twists are welcome and they're enjoyable. I just wish they didn't have to come at the cost of long-held Tekken staples. Now, if you're a veteran of the series like me, despite the omissions, you will still enjoy it, and newcomers won't even be affected by any of my complaints. So, at the end of the day, I would go ahead and recommend anybody that's interested, go ahead and pick it up.